That the test cases that are going to be generated by AI are going to be VA test cases. There are a number of things that we would test that would not be generated by AI because they are not in the requirements. And by the way, where, as you guys know, we don't rely on requirements only. Requirements, user stories, design documents, high-level design, low-level design, architectural design, database design documents, the whole thing, every single document that has been written about the products being built, we are busybody like that. We're interested in it. Because the reason they wrote every single one of those documents is to explain a certain part of that system that they're building. So if there is any document out there that is explaining a part of the system being built, we want to see that document because we are going to generate test cases from it. After all, you don't generate system integration test cases from requirements only, do you? Requirements form a background. But if you are doing system integration test cases, then you need other documents. So you see, there is still a need for software testers on the project. Okay. And yes, you are going to get to interviews or into organizations where they've invested a lot of money on AI. And then you are going to say this thing I'm saying, and then they will start crying. Because in their minds, they believe that there was no need for software testing anymore. But we saw this with automation, didn't we? Where, you know, the non-tech community always believe that anything that comes up is a silver bullet. So without a proper understanding of automation, everybody wants, well, that's it. We don't need any testers anymore, right? Okay. From requirement to test automation immediately, that's it. And then halfway through, they realize, hang on a minute, this thing is not delivering exactly what it should deliver. You understand? So we're going to have the same problem with AI. So what is my advice to us? My advice to us is that we should go and wait for them in front. What does that mean? That's in my language. We say we go and wait for them in front. That means that today's tester, okay, must have knowledge and must be able to express themselves exactly the way I've done. Okay, so you must have knowledge. You must understand software testing in its entirety from top to bottom. Okay, that doesn't mean that you must be an expert in every part of software tester. You can't software testing. You can't. It will take you years to get to that point. But you must have a proper understanding. You must be able to give a full lecture on software testing from beginning to end. That's number one. Number two, any technology or any new model that is coming out now, you should also have knowledge. It should be exciting for you. You should, by now, have a complete and total understanding of artificial intelligence and the places where it is not enough for software testing. So when I speak to people, I tell them that I've broken ChatGPT before. You ask that thing questions to a certain point, and it says to you, you know what? I'm done here. I don't have any more answers. Leave me. Because they are not plucking the answers. AI is not plucking the answers from heaven, you know.
Not like,
It's all it's all big data, isn't it?
yeah.
You guys should have been able to predict this. Once we went into big data territory and Internet of Things, you should have known that we were going to get to this place. But the point really is that knowledge is key. Knowledge is power. So you have to understand the principles of artificial intelligence, how it works. You have to understand big data. You have to understand Internet of Things. You have to understand machine learning. And these things are exciting things. They shouldn't make you sad that you have to learn those things. You have to become the best software testing practitioners in the world. And it's possible. And you know why you guys are lucky? Half of this information, you don't even need to pay for it. I have videos of artificial intelligence that are 2 hours long, and I have like, I think I must have 20 of them now. Even me, I haven't found the time to listen to all of them. But in every single one of them, you listen, you have your notebook, you learn something. So when you are having conversation, the problem is that we're not having conversations. Testers' voices are not being heard on this matter of artificial intelligence. The only thing we hear is what Veronica has just said, which is, "Oh, we are very afraid. Oh, we're very afraid." No, 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 no. You should be at the table telling them that yes, artificial intelligence is good, but it still needs somebody to hold their hand. You understand? Now, the real question: what are the other things that it can't do? It can't do test management. It can't do test leadership. It can't lead teams. Okay, it can't review stuff. It can't do sign-offs. You understand? We're talking about risk-based testing. It still needs assistance when we're doing risk-based testing. And risk-based testing is a concept that is particular to each project you work on. So the risk-based testing, okay, for building a CRM is different from the risk-based testing or building that same CRM for another company, because the risk of each company is different, isn't it? The circumstances are different. So anywhere, it's like UAT. The reason why we can't automate UAT, you understand, is because it needs the human touch. Anything that needs the human touch cannot be replaced by machine. So this is what we need to do. We now need to build ourselves up career-wise, knowledge-wise. We need to understand all the technologies that are coming out today. We need to have good knowledge of them. We need to be going over them over and over again and asking ourselves, how is this relevant to test it?
Mm.
You understand? Yes. So that's what I would do. I would have a plan for the next 12 months. And in those 12 months, every 3 months, I must put a tick in one box of something that I have learned. That is what I would suggest to you guys.
Solid. I mean, I would I would say to someone who had not been listening and probably just coming in now, what he's saying is that go and be a human being.
True.
Because
Stop jealousy of the machines.
stop jealousy with machines. You can't, anytime I hear these questions or anytime I see it, anytime I see anybody talk about it, and I'm just like, when did we start bringing human being under machine? When in real sense, you are the one controlling what it does. You are the one even deciding if it is valid or not. A lot of companies still to today, they will not welcome the idea of you using ChatGPT to handle their information or data. So where did that? I feel, see, even if it's rocket PI that come up today, human beings are just naturally scared, careful about
Mhm.
anything they don't know about. It is because you don't know about it that you're even scared about it. Because the moment you start interacting with AI and you start dealing with big data, because I mean, looking back to when I did CCNA and we are doing with all this Internet of Things, when they were even saying AI at that time, go click, you get. But I shall know I did a CCNA exam that asked AI question. I shall did it and pass it. Anyways, even though I didn't know what I was answering then, I did Internet of Things, I did smart homes thing. And I'm not like, okay, so that smart home now, who will control it? Who will be the deciding factor to say this thing works or this thing is functional? It is still you. So how do you now move to a tool that you should control and decide and make useful or make irrelevant to it not deciding you? So the simple thing is go and be a human being. And that goes to the test leadership, the test review, the test management. Everything is what human being can do. I feel it's high time where we get to the point. I feel it has gotten to the point where we differentiate the tools from the testers.
Mhm.
The tools, because this thing are just the moment you start interacting with it as a test engineer, you start realizing that these things are just another tools that can help you do your work faster. Yeah. Okay. The second question they have for me, for in fact, second question that I had to filter out. I mean, there are no more than 6 questions, so it's not going to be long. So if you're on this call and think you have a question that I've not talked about, I want to put it in the chat section. But just hold on to be sure that it's not part of these questions. The second question to you is today, it is either, I mean, it is not even today, it has always been. It is either developers and QA are fighting, or QA and PM, product managers to be specific, are fighting, or QA is fighting with everybody. Non-testing team generally. There is this fundamental perception that they always have with QA. How do any QA engineer that is just coming to the field, or that have been in the field for like, 0 to 5 years, because I believe at that point you're still trying to build a tough skin. How
Mm.
do they how do they manage it? Do they have to work hard to change that perspective, and make sure that everybody likes them to be able to build this quality culture? Or should they keep resigning and going to other companies?
Of course not.
You know,
Uh,
this two might not be valid. I'm just giving scenarios because I've seen scenarios of tester resigning from companies because, oh, they do not like me. And my developer
mm,
hates me. My product manager does not like me. My BA is always fighting with me. To
mm.
when I enter, because I'm just a QA, they just don't like me. Like they just hate me at default. And the eight might now come. I don't know if eight is a real word because it sounds very strong in my ears. But the old perception can be as bad as from their CTO, engineering
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
engineering manager CTO not liking them. So
Yes.
how can they handle that situation? That's the summary of it.
Mm. So you're right. We had that. I'm going to divide us into two now. We had that problem when we started out in software testing for many years, and the problem wasn't solved. I solved it for myself. That's one bit. Now for you guys, oh my God, Gen Zs, oh, you have problems. The first problem that you Gen Z guys have is that in the environment in which you have grown and developed, communication has been given a backseat.
Mm,
So you can write code to create another moon.
mm,
You can write test cases that will make the people in ISTQB give you a special certification, but you don't know how to talk to people. You don't know how to interact with people, and you don't understand um, the science of communication. So let me tell you something. It is the responsibility. This is a very complex one. It is the responsibility of the communicator to ensure that the communicatee understands what he or she, the communicator, is trying to say. It is my responsibility to make sure you understand when I say good morning to you, that what I'm saying to you is good morning and not good morning. Because there's a difference between good morning and good morning. Good morning is good morning. Good morning means Goody has caught the crocodile.
mm,
So it's my responsibility. It's not the responsibility of the person sitting across the table to understand what I'm saying. It is my responsibility. Yeah, understand that. Then I will give you another thing. I love my culture. In Yoruba land, there is always a difficult uncle or auntie. Number one. And there is always a young man or young woman or even middle-aged woman or middle-aged man who has offended. If you cast your mind back to the stories your grandparents told you, when Uncle Isikalo offended again, what they then do is they take a group of elders to go and approach that one that is the most difficult uncle, the grandpa of them all. They appeal to him. They don't rush into his house. They tell him they are coming. When they arrive, they explain why they are here. They acknowledge that there is a problem. They acknowledge that it is possible that he will chase them out.
Mm.
But they just said that they should come and appeal to his age and sense of wisdom. So what they have done is they have tied his hand back just from him to tell them to get out. What am I trying to say? You know your job.
Mm.
You know your job is to tell a mommy that her baby is ugly. You know that that's your job. This is even before you went for the interview. You know your job is to tell the baby, the mommy, that her baby is ugly. Baby she has just delivered. That's your job. 9 months she was carrying that baby. Use fictitious data? Are we going to copy data from production? Somebody said yes, no. He said, okay, fine, thank you. Thank you. I know I have everything I want. And then you go and write the strategy. No. What we do is we book a series of meetings for the strategy. Then we discuss. So the first meeting is an introduction. Say, all right, this is a meeting to create the test strategy. We're going to do it together. So when there's co-ownership, and you mustn't feel threatened. Don't feel threatened or don't feel insecure. When there's co-ownership quality, okay, and you have more people on your side, because what you're also going to do throughout this period is you're now going to be explaining to them the importance of software testing, which you think is obvious, but it's not obvious. Otherwise, I would have been out of a job many years ago. I'm still saying the same thing 28 years later to the same people and to different people. So don't worry about people or understanding. People will never understand software testing. They have an idea, okay, but they don't understand that you have to do unit testing, system integration testing, some series of regression, UAT, and then sometimes at the minute they don't also understand that you can't do UAT before system testing. So there are a lot of things that AI itself doesn't understand that. So there are a lot of things that is yours. Now you go in there and take a collaborative approach to quality. There can be no fight. On the day you raise 3 defects for one person who has been sleeping in the office for 1 week and hasn't had time to go home because he's writing code, when you raise the defects, Gen Z, then you go and meet him. In fact, what we do is we go and meet him first to say, Uche, Wala deal. Uche say, what's Wala? There's no Wala. You say, I found 3 defects. First of all, let me even look at them. Are they Let me just quickly describe them to you. I'm about to raise them before you say I should go and raise them. I'm about to raise them, but I want to have a chat with you about them. This is what I saw. By the time Uche looks at it, Uche is the one that will tell you, okay, go and raise it. When you get into the team meeting tomorrow morning, Uche is talking about how he was speaking with, Shade. They spent a lot of time talking about these three defects yesterday. He is, but that's your update. Uche is the one giving it. Why? Because you involved Uche, the developer. Okay, so you have to involve people. You have to have any opportunity you have to involve them in what you are doing. You have to. This also includes your updates. Most of the time you get on board, nobody is going to ask you. They say, okay, you are testing. Okay, well done. Every week, it's nice for you to have your reports. Is it because you like reporting? No. Is that inside that report, you have 2 or 3 lines where you are explaining why you are doing what you are doing. Once people understand why you're doing what you're doing and recognize that what you're doing is wide, then there a little bit of respect starts to creep into the equation. And people begin to say, okay, you know what? Anything testing, go and ask Shade. She seems very knowledgeable. Why are they saying that? Because at every team meeting, at everything, you always have one nugget of software testing that you drop for them. So you have to be intentional yourself. You see what I'm saying? So once you or the team become the software testing go-to gurus, any question they have, they will ask you. You will not be disliked. You will be recognized as a necessary problem. And you must always say to them that the reason why people don't like us in the public is because our applications are rubbish. I don't like GT as a customer. I still can't see all my history. Sometimes people send me money and it takes a whole day for it to go back. So how can the product owner in GT be telling me that he doesn't like his testers? Is he all right? You see the point? But the tester has to point out to everybody in the team meeting that it's the word on the street is not good, though, people. You understand? That's also another thing. When you are telling them that, listen, our applications out there are not top notch. They don't stand up to international standards. I'm sorry. I know you guys don't. I know we don't like to hear this because I recognize we've been working really hard. You see that communication thing again. But the point of the matter is that we are GT and our application is not standing up to international measurements. So this is the way it's not just about writing test cases. You also have to have wisdom and you have to understand how to communicate and you have to be inclusive and collaborative in your communication. So you see, when I was talking about the ugly baby, I used the word we. Everything is we. It's not you. It's not them. And I see a lot of us do that. When we are pointing out something, it comes across as antagonistic. It comes across as combative. In fact, any day the tester is coming into the office, we expect him to be wearing camouflage because that is the way your language is. No. In my village, they say, "Belela Olabo." So there are ways in which you can say the same thing that people will actually hear you because people will tune out if you are trying to say something and halfway through what you are trying to say, they see that you're attacking them. They say, let Shade should get off, man. What does Shade know about this thing? We have been coding this thing for the past 12 months. Shade that they employed 2 weeks ago is now coming to tell us nonsense. Who is she? That's your fault because you can change people's perception. So I'm saying that you must go into your organizations intentionally. You have to be intentional. Your approach has to be one that I want people to understand what software testing is. I remember let me tell you this one, this will make you laugh. On 3 occasions, when I worked for a consultant for a large organization, I knew, because it was my own benchmark, I knew that at one point, as the test manager, I would become redundant. I know. Why? Because I had built up such a good team that I knew that at some point I would not be needed again. And that's fine. That's called legacy. You understand? So that's how you guys should be. You should be at the point where you know that by the time you spend some time, at least the people here understand what software testing is so that they can be your advocates, so that they can fight on your behalf when you are not even there. So that they can talk to the CTO, so that the CTO releases budgets, so that you can get more people on board. Do you understand? So you are an ambassador. You are not a soldier. You are an ambassador. You are an advocate of quality. And part of your role is to teach other people that there is a need for quality. Don't be insecure. Stop thinking to yourself that if I teach them about software testing, they're going to get my job. They cannot. This is 28 years. I'm still teaching people how to write test cases. You understand? People don't get it. Only software testers get how to write test cases, because when we teach you how to write test cases, we then start to discuss test cases all the days of our life. So we will always have more knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to be, if we are secure in our own profession, in our positions, and we recognize that our job is tester and teacher and supporter and big auntie, then we'll be fine. If we go in thinking, well, they don't like me anyway, you know the way you're going. When I attend your weddings, everybody is smiling. I'm looking at them. I say to the person next to me, I say, let's go and greet them 1 week from now. They won't even open the door because they are fighting. When I come and greet you 1 week, they say it's the mother-in-law. It's the mother-in-law. She's a witch. She's a yellow witch. But you knew him. But everybody knows the mother-in-law is a yellow witch. You knew that when you met her son. You knew that when you went to Dubai for honeymoon. So why didn't you do something about it beforehand? So beware of the yellow witch. That's the title of our but you know what I mean. We have to, guys, we have to make it work. There's no option. In fact, there are two options in life: to do something and to do nothing. And doing nothing is not an option. Okay. So we have to make it work. Hmm? Just change your approach, communication approach. Mm. Yep. Hmm. 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 Good. Mhm. Mhm. And you mm. No, honestly, I needed to say it because I have a whole crusade for the Gen Zs. Your communication, guys, your communication sucks. Sorry. I, s- I see you communicate with each other and I'm afraid. So I'm thinking, if this is the way they speak to each other and their friends, then how do they speak to people at work? You understand? Hmm. Mm. You know, so it's not everything you think that you must say. And yeah, Ibronke raised a really good point. It's possible that a good percentage of what you are raising as defects, okay, may not be defects. They may be features that actually haven't been developed, or they may be features that have been descoped. So my question to you guys is this: how many times do you read the documents? Because most of you read it once and then. Well, okay. Now, how many times are you having conversations? Here's a conversation that I like to have. Guys, has anything changed? Guys, has anything changed? This is you in the team meeting. Have any of the, has our scope changed? Because I know that, we're agile, so it may take some time before it finds its way into a user story. But has anything changed? After some time, they'll be making fun of you. Every meeting, they say, yeah, 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 yeah. We know the question you're going to ask now. Nothing has changed. So that helps you. And, the more you talk, little things. They're going out. We go out for lunch together, whether you like them or not. It doesn't make any difference. In fact, there's one place we went out for lunch. There's one guy that was smoking and blowing the smoke inside my face. I say it's not his fault, but because we must be collaborative, it's okay. Be blowing smoke inside my face. It's okay. It's part of it. You understand? But I mean, seriously. Then this bit where you see, everybody is looking at Iberonke and say, Iberonke, you have mind, though, that this guy is the one that will raise the defect. It's fine. What you need to do is you need to put those in your weekly reports. Let me give you another gist about that weekly report. Sometimes nobody is interested in the weekly report. Write it. One PowerPoint slide. Send it out to everybody. Let everybody know what testing is doing because we're expensive. Before the CTO says, hang on a minute, who are those 5 people there and why are we losing X million of naira on them every month? What are they doing? Yes, the CTO. He can ask the question. Why? Because nobody is educating him on what software testers do. So what are you doing on the project? You guys as a team, what have you done? On Friday, make it a habit, okay? Give them something nice to read. Wins, challenges, risks, issues, defects raised, that kind of thing. Just very succinct. You understand? That's number one. Number two, when you are on any team meeting, always make sure that you have your PowerPoints to hand. Be very quick to say, let me just quickly explain something. Boom. Because that is you going into teacher, lecturer, educator mode. It's essential because you're going to need it in UAT anyway, but it's essential. And today, I advocate that test strategy should be written in PowerPoint. Why? Because it's very easy for you to pick up a test strategy and share your screen and show 3 or 4 pages of it. Those days where we used to write it in Word, people will read it once and then you will find it next week. They're using it to sell granuts and bolly at Balende station. We need to move away. We need to move away from that. We need to move away into it being a dynamic document that people actually you can bring it to the attention of people very quickly. Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Now, let me put a back idea to why this question came up. If a designer designs, you can see what they have designed, right? If a PM communicates what they want to do, right? They write the requirement, you can see what we want to build from everybody. If a developer develops, you can see the code, you can see the application, right? QA minus the documentation and all those paparazzi that nobody will even read. Anyways, how do you now show test effectiveness? How do you measure, or what is that way that maybe people are not even noticing? Is a way that say, oh, testing has been done on this thing. Aside from the fact that they did not see bug. Yeah. Yeah. You're muted.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. For me, one of the tools that I love the most within the testing space is the traceability matrix. And I love it because it also saves me some work. It saves the team some work. So in the days of old, when people were bold, everybody will have their own spreadsheet, la 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 la, ooh, la 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 la. Then if you're on a big team with 20 testers, then you have 20 spreadsheets, la la la. But today is different. So I always say that if we have a traceability matrix, it can serve as your test execution report, and it's can, as in the current status. In fact, if you have a traceability matrix, you can start demonstrating how many test cases you have written for the requirements. In fact, you can start with the requirements so that in writing your traceability matrix, the first thing you have is a set of requirements. So you get your product owner and BA to have a look at that to make sure you haven't left anything out. Guys, you must always get people to sign off on what you are doing. Collaborative, remember? So when the BA and the product owner, either or, look at your list of requirements and say, yep, it looks like you've captured everything. The architect, yep, you haven't missed anything else. Then you are a start. After that, you start writing test cases for each, and you put it inside that spreadsheet. So this particular requirement, you've written 20 test cases for it. That's your progress. We haven't started testing, but they can see your progress. So every day they look at this spreadsheet because it's centrally managed. We'll talk about that in a minute. So they look at the spreadsheet and they can actually see the progress of the whole team, whether it's just one tester or 10 testers. Because they can see that you got 27 requirements. Automatically, even though you haven't finished, they can see you're already at 222 test cases because there's a total at the bottom of the test case column. And only half of you have written test cases. We can already see 222. I saw it I saw it in 5 seconds. So no long story. Then after that, a few weeks later, you're talking to them about test scripts, your completion rates on test scripts in the next column. So they can see the progress of your work. This is pre-testing. Then when we get to testing, we now start the execution. And then they can see you've color-coded every requirement that you have finished testing. So requirement 24 has 58 test cases, 58 test scripts, and those 58 test scripts have been executed and passed. There's a green against it. If they haven't passed and there are some of them that have defects on them, it's depending on how many have defects, it's an amber. If there are too many of the tests that have failed, it's a red. And the explanation is at the bottom of the spreadsheet. So you see, you're not even talking anymore. And then we get to the point where you have your defects. So you can see how that spreadsheet, if you design it properly, you guys just need to sit together and think about it. If you design that spreadsheet properly, it now begins a progress report of what the test team is doing from the time they started to demonstrate their understanding of the requirements, right up until the time where what was left was chasing defects. You understand what I'm saying? Now, yes, you will have another spreadsheet that is now breaking the defects down into detail. But in terms of progress of what we're doing and where we are, that's what used to be a traceability matrix and has now metamorphosized into a test report and a test status and the whole of everything. That spreadsheet is good for everybody and it's centrally managed. Your managers will share it with the business. They will share it with the CTO. They will share it with everybody, will share it with everybody because you have designed it in such a way that it tells everybody exactly what they need to know. For me, that particular tool is my favorite.
Thank you so much for that response. And that made me want to add something. We have a lot of tools today that people just, oh, we have a better tool, my test management tool. But I might be Old Testament. That's why I say I'm not Gen Z. But for whatever reason, I still enjoy the flexibility around Excel. I don't know if it's just me. Yes, I know there are a lot of, oh, tests, ma, tests, bar, tests, different tools. But there is this way honestly, I've not seen the tool that can replicate my Excel document because it helps everybody to be able to see what is going on. In fact, my Excel document for the team is so complex that I'm connecting with other documents that everybody has. For me, if you have my Excel document, you can know what somebody is working on agency, whether they have written 650 test cases and they have removed failure and this has passed. I have it central that I connected everything to. So I think if you're a test manager, I understand the beauty around using the latest technologies and all of that beautiful stuff, but use a tool that works for you. And I feel like,
Use a tool that's effective.
yes, a tool that is effective for your team. You don't have to be driven by the latest tool. I'm always saying that we don't use the latest technology in my team. My team people know me. We use what works for us, what is effective. All my manager, probably the CTO or the CEO wants to see, did he pass? Did he fail? How many have you not done? That's
Correct.
I don't need him to, okay, need to log into this tool and then try to connect it to this place to be able to see information he can see at a glance. I literally create my own dashboard with Excel. All he needs, once he goes to my Excel, he can see the whole pie chart. What is pending, what is passed, what is fail. You can see the total percentage. He doesn't need all those details because my CEO will not sit down and start looking what test cases do you write, what test scenario. The person that need all those information, did you cover all test scenarios? It's your product owner. That's who needs possibly. Your developer will possibly want to see, what your developer wants to see in your document is, okay, how did you do this? That now made it fail. So you see that test step area and the test data area is what is important for your developer the most. So you can't get carried away with tools. I just thought to add that to everything that you're right there. And like you're rightly
Very, very important.
I feel again, this comes back to the point where when I said earlier, I said testing career or your testing activities is not, unfortunately, you are the father or mother of all. It's not my career, my testing. Not be you get the products. Not be even build down. Calm down. It's everybody. So the product is good and you have signed off on it, it's good too. So you have to collaborate. I think you have done perfectly so much. And I love the idea of strategy in a slide. Maybe I'm going to adopt.
Oh, yeah.
The one I adopt today is a one-page test plan. Is what I decided. I'm not going to be doing all those. We are going to create 16 pages test plan that nobody reads. I just changed mine to a column in a page, and I put all my informations there. Everybody in my team and developer and PM, they are happy with it. At one page, they can see everything. You don't need to create 16, 20 pages of test plans again. So yes, that PowerPoint slide, I'm going to adopt that. Thank you so much for
And I think that a lot of it again goes back to communication. Traditionally we think communication is one way, it's two way. So the first thing that you need to understand is, what do people want to see? And you know what people want to see.
Yeah.
If you think about it, write down what people want to see, and you realize that, like, you've broken it down, most people just want one page where they can see what they want. Those that want detail in the whole project, those that want detail, there are no more than 2 or 3. But there are probably 20 people that want headlines. And remember, that you are worried about, you are feeling insecure about your job. When that spreadsheet finds its way to the business manager on the other side, the first thing they are going to say is, which project is this? Who wrote this? They see software. Then they will see testing at the top. And they'll see your name. Or somebody will say, oh, this was written by Shade. Who is Shade? Which one is Shade again? How many people do we even have in this company? Shade is the tester. Oh, we have a tester. Yes, we have a tester. Okay. Oh, I like her spreadsheets. That's it. Job done. And then they become addicted to your spreadsheets. Try them the day you don't send it out. Well, anyway, it's central anyway, so you're always sending it. But the day you don't send it out, they will call you and say, where is the spreadsheet? You say, oh, okay, people are reading it. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And I did something like that recently, and I didn't even know that the group CTO was following.
Because
I
it's followable.
I personally just find joy in sending my own weekly update. Though I don't my update is just for you to go and look at the document. Not because there's anything. I'm just saying document has been updated, go and check it out. So
Mm-hmm.
there was this Friday, we had a very long thing to do, and I didn't even send anything. And then he messaged me on Teams and said, I noticed you have not sent this thing yet, Alpha. I'm like, eh? So you used to see it, you just don't used to do like you saw it, you know. So I think you have said everything. Thank you so much for answering those questions wonderfully. I see some things in the chat section. Someone said, yeah, being inclusive and collaborative is our approach. Police gives us phobia. So also the way you give your developer phobias when they see you, if you are not collaborative with them. Our last said, how do you figure out who is going to be a better Q, regardless of not having a compelling CV or resume or interview? Mm, mm.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one. Because I know that we can write CV die. I've seen C- I've seen some CV that when they brought the CV, I just wanted to add milk and sugar and eat it.
I
But
just you just wanted to hire the person immediately.
yes, but no. I have some questions that I
Mm,
will ask you
mhm.
that will tell me, okay, what do I so the first thing, and this is what you guys need to understand. Who is interviewing you? What is their expectation of the tester?
Oh, thank you.
And if you don't know, ask. Don't go and attend an interview and you don't know who is interviewing you. That's like you going to battle naked. So you know the first thing that they will cut off the enemy. So your recruiter has said to you, or the organization has said to you, oh yeah, you're going to have an interview on the 22nd. The first, you must insist. Two things you must know: the job description and who is interviewing you. If they say, well, we don't really have a job description because I've heard that numbers, I say, yeah, go and get one. Go and ask the hiring manager, what are the top 5 things that they need? Otherwise, what am I going to come and talk about? Because I can talk about software testing for 12 hours.
I've non-stop.
So that's the first thing. Second thing is who is interviewing you? Usually a test lead, a product owner, developer, maybe a project manager. So you need to think before you even today, in fact, yesterday afternoon, you need to think, what do those people want to, what is important to them about the software? What will make them give me 11/10? Because it's different. The test lead wants you to demonstrate that you understand the fundamental principles of software testing, not fundamental principles of automation. Because the fundamental principles of automation is that you press a button and it will automate. No. The fundamental principles of software testing, it is when they are talking to you that they realize that they cannot start with UAT and finish with unit testing. But developers don't know that. I once trained a lady who had 20 years experience in development as a developer, 3 different languages. When we finished training her, she said, everything you guys taught me, I never knew. And for me, that was an eye-opening moment.
Yeah.
That we may have very high expectations because they are dealing with code. You kind of expect that, okay, you guys code and you do a little bit of unit testing. Surely you understand the testing lifecycle. No. So you need to understand the person that is going to interview you. What do they want? It's like going to the market. You are going to sell yourself. So you know what the test lead wants. You know what the developer wants. The developer wants somebody that they are not going to hate. You don't need to, depending on what environment you are in, you don't need to understand their coding language. No. But what do developers hate most? Go and do the research. You'll be surprised. The one thing developers hate is when you raise that defect. Well, they hate the fact that you have poor communication skills, number one. Number two, they hate the fact that when you raise a defect, you don't put all the detail that is required in it. And so they have to come back to you to come and ask you, or actually they just discredit you and just reject the defect. You don't want that. So you need to demonstrate to them at the interview that I'm not that kind. Then the project manager doesn't want you to spend their money. So when you are answering his own questions or when you are addressing that person, you need to be talking to them about how cheap you are and how you're not cheap, but value added. Buy one, get one free, saving them money, efficiency. So you have to speak the language of the project manager. You understand? So if you understand what each person wants, then you can prepare answers beforehand for each person because you already know what they want to hear. And I'll give you one last one. A lot of the things you want to say, they will not ask. Well, so no, let me put it this way. A lot of the things that you should say as a good QA at your interview, they will not ask you because they don't know now. Maybe you are the QA. So you now need to find a roundabout 419 way of actually saying those things. You want to employ a driver. Munuru is standing in front of you. Munuru is sharp. Munuru is a driver mechanic. So you ask Munuru, how do you drive the car? He explains it. So do all the other 20 people. Then Munuru asks you, Oga, when was the last time you took your car to the mechanic? You say, you took it day before yesterday. Munuru says, will you believe that? Yes, I know what happened day before yesterday. Your contact set was doing something. Then Oga says, Munuru, are you a mechanic? He says, yes, I'm a mechanic. Will Munuru get the job? Of course. Because Munuru has demonstrated value added. Munuru has demonstrated that even though you want a driver, I am a driver mechanic international.
Solid. And that's what everybody needs.
So you need to find a way for them to mark you 11 over 10 on the questions in the interview. Just in case you fail one question, then you still have 10 over 10.
Solid.
I hope that answers the question.
That does. And I think that answers the question anyone has ever asked me. How do you not pick me? Some people will come here, you didn't select me. I passed that interview. Who said you did? Because you're asking me questions. I've seen some people come for interviews and use ChatGPT. I don't know if you don't understand that. I'm not even going to ask you what is testing. I don't know who is interviewing you that makes you feel like when you come for interview. See, if HR is going to interview you, prepare to go and educate HR. If an engineering manager is going to interview you, prepare to let them know you understand the system architecture and how you test intensively, detailed and thoroughly. And if a CTO is interviewing, and let them understand how you make your work visible to ensure that you are not working in isolation. And if me, because in all those categories I might not be there, if me I'm interviewing you, let me understand that you will know testing end to end. Don't come and tell me software testing is the activities of what is pass and fail. What's that? So I see people, they give me the nice to have answers, the good answers. Like, oh yes, I'll now ask them, I'll give them a scenario-based question and they are off. In case you did not know, I've gone to product management community and told them, I've gone to developer community and told them, they don't interview QA people the way they interview every other normal human being. I've told them. You don't interview QA people by asking them, what is this? What is that? No. They are very smart people. You guys are very smart. You are very intelligent. So you can swing up answers. If you model a lot, people will come to an interview and say a lot of nothing. They will talk for like 5 minutes. My dear, they have not answered your question. They have not even said Jack. They have just dropped some words to make you feel like they know. It's when you are listening to them like, Kini Bobo in Sogong, what are you saying? Is it no boundary? I asked you, okay, how do you carry out a precise testing using it? And then you're now watching me. I'm asking you about fintech. You are answering me about how a logistic application that you tested, if it's functional or not functional. So, you see, especially if you are Nigerians, I know people who have sense. So trust me, I'm not looking for the good answers you are going to give.
Ah, man of follow me. Any party?
Oji, I want
Follow
to
me.
mute your mic. But don't worry, I've helped you. I'm not looking for those vague answers. Anybody is not even looking for those vague answers. They are looking for the knowledge and the experience, how you have been able to deal with those things practically. So I think, that just answered the question that, that just wanted to add to what Mr. Demola already said. Thank
Mhm,
you, sir.
mhm, mhm.
Um, what other questions here? So, do you deal with developers who have work on multiple projects and there isn't enough time to carry a testing walkthrough exercise? Or okay, how do you deal with developers who have to work on multiple projects and there isn't enough time to carry a testing walkthrough exercise? I th- this over answer the question. Okay. I think you already answered that question, but I feel that just to add to that, when you think about testing as an exercise where you have to sit with them and have that conversation, that's when it makes it look like they don't have time. When you see it as part of what you guys do day to day, they realize that you guys are already testing, even just having gist and coffee conversation.
Mhm.
Because that requirement clarity, that issue you want to escalate to them does not have to be in a very serious setting that, so now we want to address all the bug that we have found. Calm down. Gbagbarale. You just want to tell them and gist to them about your experience testing what they have worked on. And in the course of that, you can just talk about the issues that you have identified. And you just realize that they have your time. They have it. And I think that answers the question communication, and I think that goes to every other career, anyways. Um, the last thing somebody said here is Mohammed said, Sademola and Madam testified. And I mean, the Madam testified. How do you get your contact on social media? Just look for our name on social media. I don't think
Yeah, yeah,
Sademola does not have paparazzi of Denzo at underscore full stop. He doesn't have those paparazzi name, and so I don't as just my full name. You search for me on any social
mhm,
media platform, you find us there. I think that's all the questions we have today. And I think we have spent like
mm.
25 minutes more from the time that we
Oh wow.
okay. This is almost 11:30. Thank you so much for this session. I know if we can keep you here 24 hours, you will never run out of answers. Thank you so much for answering all these questions very intelligently. Um, we really appreciate. And of course, we hope to see you again and very soon in one of our episodes. I don't know if there's anything you want to say before we call it a day.
My biggest thing, go in there intentionally and build good relationships with the people in your team. Go and intentionally build good relationships, which means saying good morning, saying good afternoon, smiling, paying, showing interest in what your developers are doing.
Mm,
You understand? Build good relations. If you build good relationships, there will be no fighting at the end.
mm,
And then don't forget the architect. Don't forget the architect. The architect makes your system integration testing successful. Don't forget the architect.
mm,
Okay. Always pull the architect. I use the architect almost like a product owner should be now. I get them to actually review my work. They will say, yeah, I don't understand that one, but this one I understand. Great. The one you understand, please repeat for me. So carry your architect along with you, carry your product owner along with you, carry your engineering manager along with you, and there will be no issues.
mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, thank you so much. Um, this is not a technical question. It's just a general question that I get is we have not seen the speakers for ANST. What are we expecting to speak to us at?
Oh, for our conference.
Yes.
Well, so there are going to be three speakers. The first one was the easiest one to do because we wanted to find somebody who could talk to the community about building their career in management because a lot of you run away from being test managers or QA managers. So we've got a lady, Mrs. Temitope Onokoya, who is quite an achiever at MTN. I think she
Oh, we know
manages the
her. We
largest.
know her. She has
You
been
know
on
her.
that test meet and greet several times.
Good. So I think she manages about 80 people. So, be very afraid. So she's going to come and talk to us about how to build, your career path to management, which I think is important. important. So that's that. And then the other thing is I was looking for somebody to come and talk to us about, guess what? Artificial intelligence.
Next.
Um, and I found somebody, the person I really, 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 really wanted, unfortunately, is occupied on that day. So we found somebody else, an AI expert, who is going to come and talk to us about all those things we discussed today. So we'll have a topic on AI. And then the third person is going to be my good self, who is going to talk to you about what software testing does for the Nigerian economy, just so that we recognize that we are important. So those are the three speakers. On top of that, we will have a bugathon. So somebody or a company is showing off their new test management tool. So we are going to test the test management tool. And yes, and also we're going to have an award ceremony for our outgoing executives, inauguration for the incoming executives or the already executives. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing day. It's a long day, but please bear with us. Yes, it's a long day. It starts at about 9 o'clock, and I suspect we'll be there till 3, 4. But we'll give you lunch. So
We are
that's
good.
good.
We are good. Amazing. I'm sure,
But yeah,
of course, Testify will fully represent. I believe Testas Quotas will be fully represented as well. Though I will not
good.
be in the country that day, but trust me, I am
Mm.
100% present. you will you will see me.
So who is your deputy? Who is going to be your deputy?
I don't know yet.
And we need your deputy because your deputy is going to moderate in one of the speeches.
Girl, you put it up.
We
Can
do
you
this.
can you imagine Mr. Demola roasting me on a live session? I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
I know, I know, I know. But
Anyways, but of course, don't worry, we get it.
mm,
We'll do it.
yeah,
It's going
yeah,
to take place at the zone. If you have been attending Texas Quarter, you know the zone is our home. So the zone,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes. I mean, Mary,
Mm-hmm,
there was a court. There was a court. So yes, the zone at Bagada is very popular. Trust
mm-hmm.
me. Very easy to walk in and very big. If you like have 20 cars, we get compound. It can contain
Excellent.
everybody. And if you were at the testers meet and greet for 2024 March, the same all we used is where you are going to use. It's big enough for
Mm-hmm,
you. Don't worry. It's
yeah,
almost 500 capacity, so it can accommodate all of you.
yes.
All right. Thank you so
Cool.
much.
Thank you very much.
This was very insightful, and we really appreciate you once again. See, expect us in bunch next week.
We're,
Next week Saturday,
we're waiting.
guys, on the 8th. On the 8th,
Mm-hmm,
first 10.
yeah.
First, don't let me stay because it's recorded. So please
Come.
make sure that the first 100 are testers quota. Make sure, guys. Make sure. All right. Thank you so much.
No worries.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Peace, sir. All right. Where's our slide? Faith. All right. This is, I mean, we have kicked off the year very, very solid with this, guys. I don't know if it's only me or Abby, you guys. Is it only me that is feeling this? Is it only me? I mean, so wonderful. I'm super grateful to have had Mr. Demola on, on this session. Is Of course, I mean, who is the best person to start this if not him? Who is the best person to answer this if not him? All right, so this is what we have done for the first day of the month. Next week, Friday, like I said, we have our weekly session. Next week, Friday, we are having AI testing for product quality engineers. And guess who will be having? Madam Bukola. I don't know if some of you have already seen the flyers, but if you have not, I'm sure they will drop it today. But I think you have. But I will confirm Faith should drop it today. Madam Bukola will be speaking to us on AI testing. Trust me, all the certification, the woman is so funny that all the certification on AI testing, from ISTQB to any platform, TMP, all those certification bodies, she has all the certification. She went to do all of it. She wants to see what is inside. And she's going to pour all of it for us on Friday night by 8 p.m. We meet every Friday by 8 p.m. And then on the 21st, we are going to have a general walkthrough of how software is developed and the testing life cycles. More like we are going back to the basics again. And on the 28th, we have our town hall meetings. Now, in all of those things, this is what is happening with testers quota from our calendar. However, on February 25, Lambda test conference is happening. Of course, let me not even go for February 8th. There is ANST conference, which is happening at the zone by 9 a.m. I believe you should have registered by now. The link is also on our group already. On February 25, there is Lambda conference, Lambda test conference. I will be a keynote speaker and also be a part of a panel session as well. So you want to make sure that you are present, that please. If you're not present, what will you be doing again? Don't mind me. So I want to share my screen so as to show you these things that I'm talking about. Yes, so this one is for ANST that I'm sharing here. Let me confirm the screen that I'm sharing on. Sorry, let me. Where am I safe? I don't know. I'm a lot of on multiple screen, but Faith, please confirm that we are still sharing our screen on. Okay, I've confirmed that. That's fine. All right. So yes, this is ANST 6 Africa link where you can register. Okay. Is ANST annual conference. The location is there. It's happening on the 28th. It starts by 9 to 5. Don't worry, there is food. There is food. Relax, relax. The testing tomorrow, empowering excellence, driving innovation, and inspiring leadership. It's going to be 3 keynote speaker, like Mr. Demola rightly mentioned. Temi Tokwe was part of our Techie Meet Testers of 2023. She was the lady from NT. In fact, if you remember the emergency panel session I had with a lady and a CTO at the end of the session that people said they loved the most, which now made us to do the same thing in 2024. Yes, that's the lady that is coming and she's going to be speaking. And of course, we have an AI expert talking about the innovation, and of course, Mr. Demola himself talking about software testing for Nigeria. So it's going to be amazing. You should be there. Okay. The next one is now the Lambda Test Conference that's going to be happening on February 25, 2025. Guys, you don't want to miss this. This is always, I mean, I'm always been part of the Spartan panelists, but this time around is going to be amazing. I don't know why my picture refused to show here, but yes, I'm going to be part of this panel discussion on quality engineering evolution, what lies ahead in 2025. And of course, I'm a keynote speaker on the test matter, security essential for quality engineers. It's all happening on February 25. One panel session is by convert this to an African time. Don't ask me, but you can just go to the website and convert this to an African time. So I'm just going to drop the 6 Africa link for you so that you don't miss out on that. And also this Lambda conference as well. Now, the third one you do not know that you definitely be knowing by, let's say, Sunday night, because my speaker has refused to go and do photo shoots. So I've been waiting for him to do photo shoots. All those people. So it's happening on, come to think of this, I think that's February 22. Come on, Jebel. I'm going to confirm the dates in a second. The paid master is a paid master class. We are going to be having, okay, February 22. Yeah, thank you, Jesus. I thought there's a date clash. So February 22, which details is going to be shared on the community and also to other places as well. We are going to be having a security masterclass, security testing for quality engineers. Guys, you know that as far as this community is concerned, anywhere you see it, you identify yourself as a product quality engineer. Not software tester, not QA. Those are the activities you do. But as a professional, you are a product quality engineer. Okay? So we are going to be having security masterclass. It's going to be intensive, guys. It's going to be intensive. So I'm going to be sharing the details with you. There are 3. There is Mr. Demola Adesina in Canada. You can check him out on Instagram. On LinkedIn. There is Olubenga, who is also from Nigeria, and then there is myself. Olubenga UK. There is myself, and there is Mr. Bimbola. It's a 3 days. It's a powered, but one is a 3 people, one powerful day of security testing for QA engineers. And how much is it? I think it's around just $20, which if you convert to Naira is like 10K or so. So you can prepare for that. Details will be shared on the group latest by Monday. So you want to be present and you don't want to miss that as well. All of these details is what we have in store for you. And I hope you do not miss any of them. Okay. The updated checklist of these days will be shared again on the group so that you get to know what we are doing. And that brings us to the end of today's session. Thanks to every one of you for being present. This session is recorded on our YouTube page. And if there's anything at all, we'll always communicate. It to everyone. All right. Please stay through in the community. Lastly, Testers Quarter community. In fact, with what we have planned for you guys, even me, I'm scared that we have not going to plan too much like this. For the year is power packed, and most of them, like 80% of them, are free. 80% of them, like you are learning a lot of things for free. You don't want to miss that, and we make it convenient. That's why we move it to Friday nights. Okay, that's why we move it to Friday. Not that Saturday we know you have a lot of things to do. So Saturday events will only be once in a while like this, not like every Saturday like we did last year. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, we appreciate you in Testers Quarter. Please, let's stay active, apply to jobs, contribute to people, discuss with people, practice your discussion with us. Okay. And to all our January celebrants, Community Manager is coming for you to celebrate you. If you have a job from our community, please let us know and let us celebrate you as well. Once again, let's have a great day and stay blessed. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye, 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 bye. Yeah. I don't know if this thing has song. I'm just singing the song with my mouth. One that will make you think you live on time. Let me fast forward it to the part. You can leave the call, we are done.
No matter what goes my way, I am victorious. No matter what they say, oh, I am victorious. No matter what goes my way, I am victorious. Oh, no matter what they say, oh, I am victorious. No matter what comes my way, no matter what. Who they talk, waiting God, your talk.